Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Ray's Garage. Today we're going to do a little video on a new installation of a Garmin navigation system and some auxiliary lighting for my KTM 890 R. This is the 2023 model, so the wiring loom might be a little bit different than those found on earlier models, but I'm not going to take it all apart and take off the plastics and go through that to make a look. I'm just going to show you how I installed it to give you a better idea of how simple it really is. I chose the Garmin XT, and its mounting location can only really go in one place, and that's above the existing instrument cluster. There's just not enough real estate on these handlebars to put a RAM mount. As you can see, I got a GPS remote, a GoPro remote right there. I got my phone holder. There, I got a switch for some auxiliary lighting. It's crowded. As you can see, this is the GPS mount from KTM. 2 screws, zip, take off the cover, put on the new mount. And I really like it because it places the GPS right above the instrument cluster. And it's really cool that you pull it into one side like that, and then you can move it up or down. You let it go and it locks in place. That way you can tilt it up if you're standing, you can tilt it down if you're sitting, or you can keep it right in the middle. I think this will be, I'm going to line it up exactly with the existing instrument cluster. Running the wires could be a little bit complicated, depending on how you do it. Now, I've seen a lot of videos and read a lot about guys taking apart the entire forward dash unit in order to hide this wire right here and bring it down into the compartment where the accessory wires are. I chose not to open this up or take the headlight out or go in behind here. It's just too much. It's overkill. I just wanted a clean wire coming down. And as you can see, I entered the back of this cavity where the accessory wires are located. Once I took off the accessory panel that houses the turn signals, it was just a matter of pulling this cable through the hole that I drilled on the bottom of this accessory panel. This way I'm not making any holes in the top of here. I'm not using this plate. I just got a rubber grommet in the hole. I fish the wire through the rubber grommet. If I ever decide to relocate or take off the GPS for another bike, I can always just pull this wire right out of the grommet, and then they sell rubber caps that you could put in place of it. So to me, that was the best alternative. Here's a better look of where the wire enters the accessory harness wires on the right side cavity of the bike. And of course, I use the accessory 2 because I want it to operate only when the ignition is on. Now that I have the GPS mounted to the front accessory 2 switch or harness, I didn't want to put anything else on that accessory 2. There is an accessory 2 coming from the rear of the bike, which is on a separate circuit. So I preferred to split my devices between accessory 2 in the front and the back. So I went out and I bought auxiliary lights. They're 2-inch cube. I got them off of Amazon. Not very expensive. As a matter of fact, very cheap. They just didn't come with all the bells and whistles and the different modes, which I really think is frivolous and over the, over what is really necessary. I just wanted fog lights or ditch lights so that I could see deer on the side of the road. They don't have to be too bright. And of course, these lights came just with the harness, the power lead coming from the light. So it was up to me to buy some cabling and a switch to control all this. I chose this simple and inexpensive, but billet aluminum, weatherproof toggle switch. It's powered so that when you turn it on, the switch actually lights up amber yellow. When it's off, there's no light at all. Now the trick was coming from the accessory 2 harness in the back of the bike, which wasn't really too hard. Bringing that power all the way forward, following these harnesses, going up under the tank and coming out. And of course, I have that wire coming up to the main cabling, and from there I can't really show it. It goes into the back of the accessory panel where on the left side where the left turn signal is. Okay, so I brought my power to that location. It's less crowded and it worked best for me. All in all, I don't think that wire coming down there or the wire from my GPS is all obtrusive. It doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty neat anyway, as a matter of fact. Wiring this way means that you have to bring your power to the inside of this housing right here. You also have to bring your switch cable right here into the housing as well. Then of course you're going into the switch with your positive side of the cable, and you're coming out of the switch and going into your auxiliary lamps. As you can see, they're mounted on both sides. They're 2-inch cubes. They don't interfere with the fender. You can move them and rotate them. I haven't adjusted them yet. But what's really cool is KTM anticipated this and they put little tiny holes, 2 holes in here for their OEM auxiliary light setup that you could use as a reference. There's a hole here and a hole here. I use the inside hole because I only needed 1 bolt to secure this to the plastic. And then what's neat is you can run the cabling from the light to a pre-made hole with a rubber grommet. It comes right here and it goes in underneath of your accessory panel. So in a nutshell, I brought my power from accessory 2, ran it up to the cavity up here. My handlebar mounted switch cable goes down into this cavity as well. Everything is connected, soldered with shrink tubing around all of the splices. I didn't bother putting on blade connectors or anything like that. I don't really feel the need for them. So that's about it. Basically a 2-hour job to do the GPS and the auxiliary lights. Maybe a little bit more. I spread it out some. But better than sitting on the couch, and definitely better than riding out in this cold, yucky Pennsylvania weather. To me, wintertime is kind of like a recess. But during that recess, I don't just walk away from the bikes. That time is dedicated towards maintaining them, setting them up, adding accessories, and making sure that you're all ready for the next ride. So have a good day. Thanks for watching. And the next video is going to be on the Slacker sag adjustment tool. I'm really looking forward to receiving that because I have multiple bikes and it's just no real close people to come and help me out. It's something that I have to do on my own, and this is the perfect device for it. See you then.